Good afternoon. I'm Betty Bontempi, a member of the all-volunteer staff of the Richter Association for the Arts in Danbury. I'd like to tell you something about the history of Richter Arts and the impact it has had on our community. In the early part of the 20th century, the beautiful house and the surrounding property was owned by the Richter family. Mr. Richter was an assistant district attorney in New York, and the family used this property as their summer place. And here they entertained their many friends, artistic, literary, musical friends, and we can well imagine little concerts being held in their spacious salon, and innovative and unique pieces of art hanging on their walls and available to look at in the rooms. In 1968, the widowed Mrs. Richter deeded the property to the city of Danbury to be used for the recreational and cultural activities of the community. The outside of the property was to be used for recreational activities and became the golf course, tennis courts, hiking trails, sledding, and ice skating on the lake. The inside, the beautiful house, was reserved for cultural events. It was to be administered by the Richter Park Authority, responsible to the city of Danbury, but completely self-supporting. In 1970, the Richter Association for the Arts was established, with the mandate, according to the words of our first president, Irving Mall, to promote literature, music, dance, art, poetry, and all the activities that enrich the lives of civilized people. And we have been doing that for upwards of 43 years now, with a succession of volunteer boards. One of the first events in 1971 was the Lawn Arts Festival. 89 artists exhibited their work, and this festival was the forerunner of the annual prestigious juried art show, which we have every fall. Throughout the years, Richter Arts has presented all sorts of activities: chamber music, big band, instrumental music. We've had musicians with unusual instruments like the dulcimer, the harp, the electric violin. We've had dance exhibitions, ballet, ballroom, ethnic, even belly dancing. And we've had shows, art shows, sales, poetry readings. We've had opera singers and pop singers. We've had doo-wop singers, and we've had people who play the guitar and sing their own compositions. We've had children's programs and special events celebrating the cultures of other lands. We've had well-known professional performers, and we've had young musicians who have given their first recital at Richter House. So when you come to see a concert or to visit an art show, you are doing exactly what was envisioned by the Richters. You're carrying on a tradition. When this beautiful house was left to Danbury, it was left for this purpose: to continue the arts and the beautiful celebrations of all artistic events for the people of our community. After each performance here, there is conversation and refreshments in our beautiful dining room. Here is where we often learn about the impact of our presentations upon our community. I once heard, after a string trio, a young girl who was sitting in the front row said to her mother, "I want to learn to play the cello." And also around the dining room table, I heard two young men talking after they had heard a jazz presentation by three musicians in their 80s who had played with the jazz greats at the early part of the 20th century. They were so enthralled not only with the music, but by the stories that these elderly performers had to tell. And these young men were studying jazz and were continuing the tradition. And I've also witnessed the sale of a young artist's first work after one of our art shows. Now we at Richter keep these wonderful things going by threefold support. First of all, by donations from the business community, local business community, and from corporations. And fundraising is a labor of love by our volunteer board. Secondly, we receive a grant from the Danbury Cultural Commission, but this is a contingency grant. That means that we have to prove that we receive funding elsewhere. And thirdly, we're supported by members' dues and by the donations our audiences give when they come to our events. So please come and join us at Richter House Sunday afternoons during the spring and fall and enjoy our varied programs. Everyone is welcome. Being a member does confer special privileges, but everyone is invited to enjoy our shows. And if you missed one, catch up and see a replay on this television channel, as well as on YouTube, which is accessible from the Richter Arts website,